Hello and thanks for joining me on what I'm sure is another absolutely cracking event, REVS Origins. Adam, I just want to thank you yet again for one, putting all this on, and two, inviting me and letting me be part of it. It is truly a great privilege, and I just hope as a car community we can all enjoy what's going on today, because I know I certainly do. Over the last few events I've been talking about two things. Number one, my barn find Fergie, which I've been restoring during lockdown. For those of you which have been watching that, it is now running, we are getting there, and Gav and I will soon hopefully be driving it out of my workshop, so that really has been a great thing for us to be working on. It's certainly given me a lot of strength in these hard times. The second thing I've been talking about, it doesn't take much guessing, it is this Tamiya, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today in this little 10-minute segment. The first thing I need to do is start off a stopwatch so I don't overrun too much on my 10-minute slot. Okay. So why am I talking about Tamiya during the REVS Origins event? Well, for me and for a lot of car nuts, this is where it all began. This is my first real automotive kind of experience. This is where I managed to get my hands dirty, learnt about engineering, building vehicles, setting vehicles up for the very first time in my life. I must have been about 12, 13, maybe 14 when I first got my hands on a Tamiya model, and it is something that really changed it up for me, because not only did I get to drive it at high speeds, but I also got to build it, and in doing that I got to learn about all the kind of nuts and bolts of what go into a real vehicle, because they are essentially a miniature version of a real car. I mean, they have dampened suspension which you can adjust, they have a differential which you can fine tune, you can fine tune the bearings, you can fine tune the steering, the setup, the camber, you can do so much of them, and this is where I first cut my teeth. At that time I lived in the south east of London. I was a Londoner, and this was a vehicle that I could finally race other cars, real size cars, down the streets of London with. So my first Tamiya model really was a revelation for me. It let me get my hands dirty in a place I really loved. So what I wanted to do on this episode is pull out this, my very first Tamiya model. This is it in the bag it came in from the old shop BT's, and it is still in here. Now, I haven't touched this or had it running in what must be now well over 20 years. So I thought what I'm going to do in the next kind of 8 minutes is see if I can get this running again. And I mean, I don't know what's going to happen because it's been 8 years, but I don't remember it being broken when I put it away. So I'm hoping in the next few minutes we can get this running. So what have I got in here? I think I showed it in another piece I did. I've got my old Acom's remote control. I've got a small 4AA battery block. I think, here I've got the back side of the controller, and I've also got this, my very first Tamiya car. This is the Madcap made by Tamiya, 1/10 scale, and this for me as a young man was an absolute weapon. I tuned this, it's not stock, it had ball racer bearings put into it, it had, I think it's called the Gold Tech motor put into it, and I think I attempted to tune the suspension, but back then I clearly felt that more bouncy was better, because these are meant to be oil dampened, and I don't know, I've probably taken the oil out or maybe it's gone, but it all looks a bit bouncy now. Anyway, back in the day I thought this was the bee's knees. I remember getting it for Christmas. It's missing the tail. That's probably because it spent a lot of time upside down after leaping off sleeping policemen. Yeah, it was just a real joy. So I thought we'd have a look and see if I can get it going. Now, technology has moved on a little bit since these cars first came about. And back in the day, these had 2 servos. One to control a speed controller, manual speed controller, which I have here, and the other one to do the steering. Now we still do the steering with the front servo, but we no longer do this, we have electronic speed controllers. So this is a thing of the past, and this is what I'm worried I won't be able to get going. What is an absolute joy to see! I was clearly a stickler for detail back in the day. All the wiring here has been bunched up in neat little bundles with what looks like those little sandwich bag ties. So clearly I was worried about detail and getting everything neat and tidy back then. So it's nice to see that, yeah, those traits are still going on. But I don't know, there is a little bit of slop going on in the steering. So we've got here the old Acom's radio gear. There's all my nice neat wiring and my speed controller. And what's missing is this. I think because we had 2 servos, we put an extra battery pack in, which was kind of auxiliary from the main battery to run the servos, which gave us a little bit longer on battery life. But battery technology has really moved on, so these aren't something that's used so much anymore. Yeah, so that's quite exciting. Another thing I remember is these 2-channel controllers. They used a savage amount of battery, so just to get this thing running really did take some serious power. So I have here a new set of batteries. I don't have enough for this extra auxiliary power, but what I'm hoping I can do is go straight from the power in on the speed controller to the power to the servos, which I didn't do back in the day. I say I use this, but I'm hoping I can do these 2 wires which are neatly bundled out the way together, and that will bypass that. So that's now power all the way through. And I do need to put all of these batteries into this controller, which is going to take a moment. I tell you what, it's just a lovely feeling getting my hands back on this. If this bursts into life, I think you might be about to see someone who is very excited. It's hard to say, you know, the last time I ever drove it, what went on. Did I blow it up? I mean, the bearings all feel a little bit knackered. But, I mean, you got to remember, this is well over 25 really years old now. It's just sat. Oh, I've got a battery in upside down. Yeah! One up, one upside down. One upside down. Here we go. Right. I don't even know if this controller is going to work. I am glad to see that I kept all the batteries out so it's not corroded. Right, that gauge, if I remember correctly, should burst into life. Oh, and it does. So it's gone straight up to full power. So that radio gear seems to work. We're on to a winner. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I've got a new battery. I say I'm not going to use that. And hopefully, if I've hot wired this in the correct way. Is it turned off? It is turned off. I should just be able to plug that in there. Let's see how we're doing for time. Oh, that's we're in 7 minutes, so we're doing alright. Got a couple of minutes to see. Put this battery in here. So that's the battery in. Turn it on, I suppose. So this has been like 25 years since I've done this. Is there going to be a noise? Oh, there was a slight judder noise. I don't know. I mean, look, there's wires hanging out here. This is almost ripped out. Let's see if we've got steering. Oh, well, we've got steering. Look at that. So the servos are still working. I've got my left and right. Oh, don't tell me this is gonna. Oh, that hasn't spun in 25 years. This still works. Oh, come on. Right, body's going back on. 25 years. I cannot believe my Tamiya Madcap. I mean, you know, right now I have quite a few Tamiya models, and these are all what we call shelf queens. They all sit on the shelf looking lovely. This certainly is not a shelf queen. It is completely battered. I honestly didn't think it was going to work. I mean, it's missing the rear wing. It's just gone, probably down the streets of southeast London somewhere. Ripped it off. So, if all has gone well, I mean, this might jump off and... Oh, we could do a burnout. Oh, it's nippy. And you know what's really nice? Actually, these old ones compared to the new ones, oh, I've just got a bit of judder then, some interference. Just got to be careful this doesn't suddenly burst off. But there you go, 25 years. I mean, I'm going to take this out tomorrow and take it for a spin. 25 years. That really is incredible. That really takes me back. So, this for me, it's where it all began. These Tamiya models, they enabled me to engage with the whole automotive world on a very small scale, but they enabled me to get hold of my passion, enjoy it, and it grew from there. So I'm really privileged to have worked with these. Just wonderful, wonderful things. And this takes me right back. So for me, this is the origin. This is where it all began, and what a joy it was, and what a joy it still is. And it was a real pleasure for me to share it with you. 25 years, it's not moved a muscle, and it is still alive. That's it for my section. I really hope you've enjoyed joining me. If you've got any questions or queries, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll read through them and hopefully be able to get back to you. Adam, I just want to thank you yet again from the bottom of my heart for letting me be involved today. It is a great privilege. Guys, we need to look after each other. It's difficult out there. Please stay positive, keep enjoying it, have a great day, and I'll catch you later.